News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks. And that's your closing bell on Wall Street. The Dow down 220 points today, about a half percentage point. The Nasdaq pretty flat. It lost just 7 points, and the S&P slipped 20 points, down 0.3%. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4%, the 2-year yield at 3.5%. Kenvue shares dropped more than 9% today after the Wall Street Journal reported Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy will likely link the company's Tylenol painkiller to autism. The Department of Health and Human Services has slammed the article as speculation, and Kenvue's denied any links between the two. Kennedy's report is expected this month. Fed rate cut expectations are climbing following today's disappointing jobs report. Bloomberg's Michael McKee has the numbers.
22,000 jobs created during the month of August. That is significantly lower than the 75,000 anticipated. Last month, 73,000 revised up to 79,000. Change in private payrolls, 38,000. Last month, it was 83,000.
That's Bloomberg's Mike McKee. We get reaction from former Fed economist Claudia Sahm. She's with New Century Advisors.
There are a lot of reasons that job growth could be slowing because of labor supply, and it is very consistent to see that. And the unemployment rate tick up. It's not jumping up, it's moving up. But this really does firm up the case that Powell made in Jackson Hole and Chris Waller has been making about it's time to start cutting. But I still think this data is in line with a gradual pace of cutting.
Former Fed economist Claudia Sahm on Bloomberg Surveillance. She says the jobs data is the best read we have on the U.S. labor market. Meantime, economists at Bank of America have actually forecast 2 cuts this year in September and December based on those August employment numbers, as well as 3 cuts next year. The House will likely need more time to work out a deal on next year's budget, which means Republicans will have to come up with some sort of stopgap measure to avoid a government shutdown. Missouri Republican Jason Smith is chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee.
I would expect there'll be a continuing resolution for at least a couple months because there is clearly no bipartisan agreement. Will the Democrats in the Senate support a continuing resolution? They're saying right now that they won't. If they don't, they are clearly shutting down government.
Congressman Jason Smith talking to Bloomberg. Without a temporary agreement, federal funds will run out at the end of the month. Tesla shares got a bit of a boost today, rising 3.6% thanks to a new compensation proposal designed to keep CEO Elon Musk on the job through the next decade. The pay package could be worth about $1 trillion. But to get it, Tesla chair Robin Denholm says they've set up a series of ambitious benchmarks.
The first one, in terms of market cap, is actually doubling the size of the company today. And we have, the first in terms of the vehicle side is actually getting to 20 million vehicles that are produced and delivered. And we're only at just over 8.
Tesla chair Robin Denholm on CNBC this morning. Musk would also have to end his involvement in politics to get that money. President Trump's threatening to launch a trade investigation to, quote, nullify Europe's unfair penalties against U.S. tech companies. The president's social media post is in response to the European Union's $3.5 billion fine against Google in a major antitrust case involving its ad services. Trump claims it's Europe's way of effectively taking money that would otherwise go to American investments and jobs. The Trump administration took aim at India today following its prime minister's meeting with China and Russia. The relationship has soured after the U.S. doubled India's tariffs last month for buying Russian oil. But Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick predicts they'll be back.
Eventually, your businesses are going to say, you've got to stop this and go make your deal with America. So I think, yes, in a month or 2 months, I think India is going to be at the table and they're going to say they're sorry and they're going to try to make a deal with Donald Trump. And it will be on Donald Trump's desk how he wants to deal with Modi. And we leave that to him. That's why he's the president.
Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick on Bloomberg Surveillance. Anthropic will pay at least $1.5 billion plus interest to settle an author's copyright lawsuit for downloading pirated books. The AI company will pay about $3,000 for each of about 500,000 books in this case and destroy any associated data. It's the first of dozens of copyright lawsuits filed against AI leaders. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is expected to make an important announcement this hour about the future of his bid for re-election. That's according to an advisory sent by his campaign. The announcement comes amid reports that Adams been getting some job offers in exchange for leaving the race, including a possible ambassador position with the Trump administration in Saudi Arabia. Adams, who's trailing in the polls, has denied the reports. And the men's semifinals are officially underway with Novak Djokovic taking on Carlos Alcaraz at the U.S. Open. The cheapest ticket to watch that match was upwards of $1,000 on StubHub. It's the most expensive match in tournament history. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks, and this is Bloomberg.